Iraqi Dinar today latest news. The internet has been absolutely consumed over the past day. An unprecedented wave of excitement and speculation washing over social media and dedicated online forums. From the bustling groups on Telegram to the rapidly trending threads on X, the conversation is singular and intense. The potential future valuation of the Iraqi dinar. Reaction videos are proliferating across YouTube, and even the quieter corners of platforms like Reddit are overwhelmed with comments and analysis, all stemming from a single, cryptic piece of circulating media. This digital fervor has been ignited by a brief, somewhat ambiguous video clip, which many in the dinar community claim features President Donald Trump hinting at a significant revaluation of the Iraqi currency, potentially bringing its value close to the US dollar, specifically the figure of 96 cents. This astonishing suggestion has acted as a catalyst, sparking one of the most powerful collective moments of excitement and focused attention the community has witnessed in years. For longtime followers, this clip is being interpreted in myriad ways. A definitive confirmation of their long-held belief, a deliberate hint from a major political figure, a clear signal that change is imminent, or perhaps even a strategically placed hidden message. The key takeaway, irrespective of the clip's ultimate official authenticity, is the instantaneous and monumental reaction it provoked across the global digital landscape. Our purpose today is to meticulously dissect this phenomenon, examining every angle to understand the precise details of what occurred, the underlying reasons for the community's dramatic response, and what this massive surge in attention could potentially signify for the financial future of Iraqi dinar. As we look ahead to 2025, this entire global sensation traces its genesis to a fleeting, low-quality video snippet that suddenly appeared online, showing Mr. Trump speaking at what appears to be a private event, possibly a fundraiser or a small gathering. The production quality of the clip is notably poor. The audio is indistinct. The camera angle is shaky and unclear, and the footage cuts off abruptly, creating the classic conditions for rumor and widespread digital confusion. Yet, amidst these technical deficiencies, a particular sentence or phrase, which many have latched onto, sent genuine shockwaves through the online community. This segment of the speech is being widely interpreted as a commentary on the trajectory of Iraq's economy, specifically suggesting its currency could be on a path to becoming one of the strongest in the entire region. Channels and prominent figures within the dinar community immediately seized upon this specific statement, interpreting it as a profound and unambiguous sign of impending change. The speculation quickly escalated, with some analysts proclaiming that the former president was not just commenting on general strength, but was directly hinting at a revised exchange rate that could position the Iraqi dinar near parity with the United States dollar. It was at this juncture that the now ubiquitous and highly charged figure of 96 cents began its ascent to viral prominence. Within mere minutes of the clip's circulation, various digital accounts were reposting the footage, adding sensationalized captions, weaving complex theories, and vehemently arguing for what they believed was an imminent and confirmed currency revaluation. This swift and pervasive dissemination of the information led to thousands of individuals across various platforms engaging in fervent discussion over a supposedly confirmed revaluation event. For a significant number of individuals who have been closely monitoring this situation for a decade or more, this moment felt like the ultimate culmination. The point where years of anticipation and patient waiting were finally validated. The speed with which this particular clip spread transcended the boundaries of the dedicated dinar community itself, prompting individuals outside of that financial niche to inquire about the sudden, global surge of interest in the Iraqi currency and the talk of a massive revaluation. The emotional and practical reaction across the internet has been nothing short of immense and deeply felt by its participants. Within the various communication platforms, particularly Telegram, the mood was instantly celebratory, with users sharing elated emojis and enthusiastic messages, almost as if the much-anticipated revaluation had been executed that very hour. On the X platform, users were sharing complex-looking charts, screenshots of supposed data, and even claims about secret bank rates that they alleged had briefly appeared on screens before vanishing. A few individuals went so far as to claim that they personally witnessed the controversial $0.96 rate momentarily flash on digital banking displays during routine financial transactions, further fueling the widespread excitement and lending anecdotal proof to the emerging narrative. The video platform, YouTube, became an absolute epicenter of activity, with content creators swiftly producing material that either repeated the central rumor, offered detailed reactions to the cryptic clip, or provided their own interpretations of what Mr. Trump's alleged comments truly implied. The range of advice was broad and often contradictory. Some urgent videos strongly advised viewers to take immediate action and prepare for an imminent rate change, while others adopted a more cautious tone, emphasizing the critical importance of verifying the source and warning that the viral clip could potentially be an edited fabrication. Regardless of the specific viewpoint, the overwhelming conclusion was that this particular rumor achieved a level of virality and speed of spread that surpassed any Dinar-related story seen in the last half-decade. The veteran Dinar holders, who have collectively invested years in this complex journey, navigating cycles of anticipation, skepticism, intense analysis, and persistent hope, experienced a renewed and palpable surge of genuine excitement. This reaction was not solely triggered by the content of the brief video clip itself. It was primarily fueled by a deeper, more validating sensation, the belief that, finally, after all this time, the world's attention was genuinely focusing on the documented, ongoing financial and economic ascent of the nation of Iraq. However, to maintain a clear and responsible perspective, it is absolutely essential that we now move beyond the immediate emotional reactions and meticulously analyze this entire event from a clear, objective, and news-oriented standpoint. The first and most crucial point of clarity is this. As of now, there exists no official, verified recording, no confirmed transcript, and certainly no authenticated, direct statement from the former president confirming a specific $0.96 dinar exchange rate. This fact is paramount for everyone consuming this information to fully grasp. The viral clip that initially set off this massive social media frenzy appears to show Mr. Trump speaking in broader, more general terms about Iraq's substantial economic potential and its inherent capacity to mature into a powerful financial player on the global stage. This potential is largely attributable to the country's vast oil and natural resources, coupled with its intensive, ongoing economic restructuring efforts. This general commentary is entirely plausible and aligns with known economic facts. However, a key distinction must be made. Expressing a positive view about a country's future economic strength or even its currency's long-term potential is fundamentally different from providing explicit confirmation of a precise exchange rate or establishing a specific timeline for its implementation. The nature of the Internet, and particularly the community around this topic, involves a natural tendency to fill in any informational gaps. In this specific instance, those gaps were filled not with fact, but with the dramatic and seemingly achievable figure that resonated most deeply with the collective hopes of the community. What does lend a degree of perceived credibility to the rumor is the context that Mr. Trump has indeed previously commented in earlier years on Iraq's significant national wealth, its vast oil resources, and what he characterized as missed economic opportunities. This historical context, combined with the new viral clip, served to make the latest rumor feel substantially more convincing to a large portion of the audience. Crucially, even though the viral clip does not constitute an official confirmation of a rate, the sentiment it expresses does align remarkably well with tangible and documented financial changes that are actively unfolding within Iraq today. Over the past few years, the Iraqi government and its central bank have undertaken major, comprehensive initiatives aimed at thoroughly modernizing the nation's entire banking infrastructure, actively working to decrease reliance on the US dollar for domestic transactions, systematically cleaning up informal currency markets, and preparing the entire economy for deeper integration into the global financial system. The Central Bank of Iraq has publicly acknowledged its strategies, including a stated commitment to strengthening the domestic purchasing power of the dinar. Furthermore, they have implemented more rigorous controls on cross-border money transfers, demanded verified documentation for large dollar transactions, and successfully managed to elevate the nation's foreign currency reserves to unprecedented record high levels. Looking ahead to 2025, the country is pushing forward with the establishment of entirely new financial systems, specifically designed to more deeply and securely connect Iraq to the established global financial networks. These deliberate, strategic moves are not speculative. They are real, fully documented, and hold significant weight in the context of the currency's future. Therefore, when influential figures like Mr. Trump or any credible analyst speak positively about Iraq's financial future, the statement doesn't register as a far-fetched fantasy. Instead, it feels like a logical continuation of a long, deliberate, and observable trend of financial progress that has been building over time, rather than a random, hyperbolic exaggeration. Another important line of inquiry is the precise origin of the $0.96 figure itself, as it certainly did not emerge from a vacuum. For many years, various financial analysts and speculators have constructed sophisticated theoretical models based on a careful assessment of Iraq's vast oil reserves, its current economic output, the huge potential for gross domestic product (GDP) growth, and the projected value of the country. Extensive post-conflict reconstruction needs. Using the complex outputs of these calculations, some professional estimates have historically suggested that if Iraq were to fully and successfully restructure its currency, achieve complete control over inflation, thoroughly modernize its financial systems, and successfully reduce distortions in its money supply, the resulting fair value range for the dinar could theoretically settle somewhere between 50 cents and a full US dollar. It is within this long-standing theoretical range that the specific $0.96 number initially earned its reputation. It was conceived not as a confirmed or imminent exchange rate, but rather as an ambitious yet achievable theoretical value, based purely on Iraq's fundamental underlying economic capabilities and potential. Over a significant period of time, this particular number transcended its status as a mere theoretical calculation and became highly symbolic. It transformed into a widely recognized target or milestone within the dedicated dinar investment community. Consequently, when the recent viral clip surfaced, a natural and immediate connection was made. The community instinctively linked the alleged political commentary with the long-established belief that the $0.96 valuation was indeed achievable, provided the necessary economic and political conditions were met. However, it is essential to explore the other, equally critical dimension of this story, the powerful emotional context that drives this community. A substantial number of dinar holders initiated their investments many years ago, some even more than a full decade past. They have been enduring observers of Iraq's turbulent journey, watching the nation grapple with unstable governmental transitions, persistent issues of currency manipulation, the imposition of international sanctions, periods of intense domestic protests, regional conflicts, and various financial crises. Throughout this entire long span of time, these investors have continually heard promises and predictions of an imminent revaluation, only to see those hopes repeatedly dashed year after year. As a result, the community has evolved, becoming understandably more skeptical, more weary, yet fundamentally still holding onto an intrinsic core of hope. This enduring hope gradually solidified into a quiet, deeply patient conviction that eventually, inevitably, Iraq would successfully rise to its full economic potential. For a great many of these long-term investors, the latest viral rumor was not merely about the potential for financial gain. It was powerfully and deeply about validation. It felt, for many, like a significant and highly influential figure had finally and publicly acknowledged the belief they had patiently held for so long. This resulting emotional catharsis and surge of collective excitement is a major contributing factor to why this specific story exploded across the internet with such unprecedented velocity. When the potent elements of deeply held hope, past frustration, historical context, and a viral, politically charged video clip are combined, the result is a perfect storm that leads to explosive and immediate online reactions. To anchor this discussion back to the current reality, the transformation occurring within Iraq is undeniable and proceeding with strategic intent. The country is actively engaged in building sophisticated digital payment networks, establishing crucial regional financial partnerships, opening up new and vital trade connections, and systematically modernizing its critical national infrastructure. Local banks are rapidly adopting international operating standards, and the volume of electronic transactions is demonstrably increasing month over month. Iraq is also working in close consultation with key regional leaders in neighboring nations such as Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Turkey, and the UAE, primarily to secure and stabilize regional trade flows. The country's oil revenue remains robust, and critically, non-oil sectors of the economy are showing gradual but consistent growth. When all of these factors, the efforts to eliminate illegal dollar channels, the push to strengthen currency stability, and the overall economic momentum are taken together, a clear picture of the future begins to emerge. In this context, the goal of achieving a stronger dinar is not an unrealistic aspiration. A more valuable, more stable currency is not a mere fantasy, but a plausible outcome. However, it is vital to recognize this as a sophisticated process, a gradual, calculated, and strategic maneuver that is fundamentally dependent on sustained national coordination, political stability, and strong, consistent governance. Furthermore, we must consider the broader global financial context. The world's financial landscape is in a state of major transition. An increasing number of nations are engaging in trade settlements that circumvent the traditional use of the US dollar. New international economic alliances are actively forming. Digital currencies are rising in prominence, and regional economies across the world are vigorously seeking greater financial independence to develop their own, more localized financial ecosystems. Iraq is situated directly in the middle of this significant global shift. The nation is expanding its trade with major partners like China, increasingly utilizing local currency settlements for its lucrative oil contracts, and forging stronger economic ties with both Russia and its neighboring Arab states. Therefore, when a figure like Mr. Trump offers commentary on Iraq's financial prospects, it aligns logically with this dominant global trend of countries actively diversifying and strengthening their own national currencies. From a geopolitical and economic perspective, such a comment is not shocking. It is a logical observation. This is a primary reason why the public did not immediately dismiss the rumor. The financial world of today is fundamentally different from the one that existed a decade ago. The critical question now facing the dinar community is this: what specific, verifiable developments should holders of the currency be paying close attention to in the immediate future? Firstly, maintaining a grounded and rational perspective is essential. Rumors, especially those that align with long-held hopes, are highly compelling when the community is emotionally charged. However, any genuine major national financial move will invariably be accompanied by official, unambiguous statements, formal announcements from the central bank, and international confirmations through established institutions. If Iraq were to implement a significant currency adjustment, the news would first emerge through these verifiable official channels. Secondly, it is crucial to understand that major currency transitions typically follow a recognized, phased approach. Initial stabilization of the economy, comprehensive financial restructuring, sustained efforts to increase the currency's domestic purchasing power, and finally, full international integration. Iraq is clearly demonstrating active progress through these established phases. Thirdly, the community must remain vigilant and avoid making decisions based on unverified claims, speculative private offers, or reports of supposed insider exchange rates. These are highly susceptible to being scams or based on fundamental misunderstandings of the financial system. And finally, the community must remember the overarching, foundational narrative. The reason that long-term investors initially placed their belief in Iraq's future was not based on fleeting rumors. It was based on the country's profound and tangible economic potential. So, what sequence of events is expected to unfold next? In the coming months, financial analysts will be closely monitoring several key indicators. This includes any official updates released by the Central Bank of Iraq regarding the future directional strategy for the currency, any formal announcements concerning the potential release of new banknotes or lower denominations, a noticeable increase in the national adoption of electronic banking, and any documented shift in the international visibility of the dinar on major global financial trading systems. Should these specific, documented developments begin to appear in combination, it would serve as a powerful and concrete indicator that Iraq is making serious preparations for a fundamental financial shift. Whether that shift is implemented gradually over time or as a more sudden, decisive action. The viral clip featuring Mr. Trump may have successfully triggered a massive wave of public excitement. But the true and important story will be found in the subsequent, official actions taken by the Iraqi authorities. If Iraq maintains its commitment to pushing forward with its current reform agenda, the eventual realization of a substantially stronger currency becomes not only a possibility, but an increasingly probable outcome of its determined efforts. Now we return to the central viral question: did the former president actually confirm a $0.96 revaluation of the dinar? The verifiable answer remains no, at least not through any official documented channels. However, the sheer impact of the rumor itself reveals something equally significant. It demonstrates the exceptionally close attention the global community is now paying to Iraq's economic progress. It illustrates the readiness of the world to accept the possibility of a major political or economic shift occurring in the region. And crucially, it shows the growing level of confidence in Iraq's long-term, sustained economic comeback. A decade ago, a story like this would have barely registered on the international radar. Today, this specific story dominated social media conversations for days on end. That alone stands as a profound testament to how dramatically the narrative surrounding Iraq has fundamentally changed. The nation is no longer viewed solely as a country slowly rebuilding from years of conflict and instability. It is increasingly seen as a dynamic, rising economic player with the genuine potential to surprise and impress the entire world. When we comprehensively assess all the moving parts, the consistent oil production, the strategic global alliances, the modernization of its banking sector, the comprehensive currency reforms, and the push for economic diversification, it becomes clearer why people hold a strong conviction that significant financial change is indeed forthcoming. Whether the eventual confirmed exchange rate settles at $0.96 or perhaps a different figure like $0.51 or even something entirely unexpected, the overall economic direction of the country is unambiguously clear. Iraq is actively and determinedly climbing upward. The recent viral clip may not constitute an official confirmation, but it serves as an incredibly powerful reflection of the global sentiment surrounding the country. People believe that Iraq's currency will inevitably strengthen. They believe the nation is steadily rising, and that collective belief, particularly when it is supported by the documented and visible progress in its real financial sector, holds significant weight and power in the international economic landscape. As we conclude this detailed, extended analysis of this breaking news event, let's consider what this entire moment truly represents for the Dinar community. The internet did not explode merely because of a single brief video clip. It exploded because people felt a tangible sense of momentum, a real, visible, and accumulating force that has been years in the making. This is demonstrably not the same Iraq that existed in 2010, 2015, or even 2020. This unfolding story signals a new financial era, a profoundly altered landscape, and a definitive new direction for the nation. The $0.96 rumor is therefore more than just a number. It has become a powerful symbol of a collective, global anticipation that Iraq is reaching a pivotal moment of significant change. I hope this detailed 20-paragraph rewrite starting from the channel name meets all your requirements for a gripping, factual, and community guideline, safe script. Would you like me to research the latest official statements from the Central Bank of Iraq regarding currency reform for your next news segment? That is an excellent idea. The most credible information to track is always from the country's central financial authority. Here is a summary of the latest official news from the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) and related international reports for your next news segment, focusing on financial stability, reforms, and the current dinar exchange rate. Official Dinar and Financial Reform Update, November 2025. The key takeaway from official reports is the strong, continued push for electronic payment systems and financial inclusion, alongside the CBI active efforts to maintain currency stability despite fiscal challenges related to oil revenues. Currency exchange rate and stability. Official exchange rate. The Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) is actively maintaining its official rate. As of September 2025, the currency exchange rate list shows the US dollar USD buying price at 1,300 Iraqi Dinars IQD and the selling price at 1,310 IQD per USD. Note, the maximum US dollar selling price by banks and other financial institutions is set at 1,320 IQD/US dollar. CBI mandate. The CBI Official Monetary Stability Report Q1 2025 reiterates its primary responsibility, managing monetary policy to control inflation, stabilize the Iraqi dinar exchange rate, and maintain the purchasing power of the national currency. Roman 2. Modernization and financial inclusion. The push to modernize the financial infrastructure is the most verifiable and documented progress point. Electronic payment mandate. Prime Minister al-Sudani has mandated a transition from cash-based to electronic payment systems for all transactions across all ministries and government institutions. Timeline. Ministries were required to present a comprehensive transition plan by the end of 2024, with the full shift to electronic payments expected to commence by July 1, 2025. Financial Inclusion Strategy. Iraq launched its National Financial Inclusion Strategy for 2025-2029 in May 2025, in partnership with the Arab Monetary Fund and World Bank. Key goals. This strategy aims to significantly increase the percentage of adults with bank or digital accounts to 50% by 2030, up from a current 11%, and increase the use of digital payments to 85%. Banking infrastructure. The CBI continues to support measures like the national switch for interbank clearing and the adoption of the International Banking Account Number IBAN to streamline local and international payments. Roman 3. Economic Performance and Challenges IMF 2025, the International Monetary Fund's IMF 2025 Article Roman 4 Mission Concluding Statement highlights the economic context for the CBI actions. Foreign reserves. External buffers remain strong, with reserves at an estimated US$103 billion at the end of 2024, covering over 12 months of imports. Fiscal deterioration. Despite strong reserves, the fiscal position has deteriorated. The 2024 fiscal deficit is estimated at 4.2% of GDP, a reflection of rising spending on wages and energy purchases. 2025 outlook. Non-oil GDP growth is projected to slow down to 1% in 2025 due to the impact of falling oil prices and financing constraints weighing on government spending. Policy recommendation. The IMF urges Iraqi authorities to review and limit or postpone all non-essential expenditure for 2025 to manage the deficit and avoid monetary financing, which could fuel inflation and drain foreign exchange reserves. This data confirms that the Iraqi government and the CBI are focused on structural financial reform, combating cash dependency, and maintaining the current official exchange rate as they navigate domestic fiscal challenges and push for deeper financial integration. There are no official announcements regarding a currency revaluation or a rate change away from the 1.300 IQD per USD range.